We as entrepreneurs have the tendency to overcomplicate everything. So what I want to talk to you about is some very simple ways that you can make more bank in your business. Now, hey, this is Randy. Everybody, you know I'm the Monetize Your Life guy. Over at the channel, we talk about all of these lo-fi, hi-fi, and using AI tools to help you monetize your life. And today I'm going to be talking to you from a case study that I did in helping a person literally go out there and increase their book of business from what they already have. So let's take a look at this. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know when I come on and I talk about how to make bank from your bathrobe, is to say that we try to do things in the simplest way. In this case, here is the case study. So I was talking to the entrepreneur and she wanted to figure out how she can make some more money. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show you exactly how I walked her through how she can make more money. So let's put it up here. All right, so we want to make more money. All right, make, if I can spell right, you know, make more money. Right now, one of the good things that we can do here when we talk about making more money, we literally are going to walk it down as simple as possible. Here are some of the things that I talked about. Already having business and going back to that business and asking for more business. Now it sounds pretty simple, I get it, but here's some of the strategies. Typically, as entrepreneurs, like I said, we have a tendency to just overcomplicate everything. We got all these bells and we got all these whistles, but sometimes it comes down to just asking who you already have booked business with right there to give you more business. Now, we're going to do this in some very specific ways. One of those ways is by way of email. Now, if anybody has joined me in my email marketing classes, the live ones and the ones online, then you know I talk about this a lot. It is one of the things that can help you reduce cost because you already have acquired that customer. Now, I'm not going to get too fancy and get into the weeds with this, right? But the CAC, the cost to acquire a customer, goes down when you can re-engage them by way of email. So in this particular case, we're saying we want to make more money. So we're going to do it off of who we currently have. Now, one of the things that we had talked about and I had shared with her is that, let's say, for example, that you send out an email and of that email, you get just 8 people to say, hey, listen, I'll listen to what you have to say. And from that 8, you're able to book 2. Now, with the 2 here, becomes a little bit of a tip and a little bit of a trick. Now take this and create a template out of it if you want to. I'll show you that here in later on. But we go, I want to make some pre-bookings. Why? Because I want to know that I can have this money in the bank. So let's say we offer from the 8 that says, yes, I'll talk to you, 2 of them a pre-booking offer. And that's the key part right here, right? We want to make an offer to people right here, right? So let's go ahead and make an offer of whatever it is that you do. If you have some kind of special, that's awesome. You got a special, make an offer. Again, it's from people that you already have. You've already acquired them. You don't have to do any fancy stuff yet. We're going to get a little fancier a little bit later, but this is the tendency, of course, of entrepreneurs. Too fancy, too quickly, but let's keep it simple. All right, now what's next then is we say to the entrepreneur, or we say to the clients and customers that have booked, hey, are you willing to maybe give me money down to hold your spot? All these kind of things that we ask questions of. And then here is the tip, is that we say, well, who else do you know that might want to enjoy this? Would you like to nominate them perhaps? Then that nomination, just said that way, would you like to nominate them for another offer? So if we start thinking about that, we say, okay, who do they know? That right there is an opportunity for us to get into people they know. We didn't have to acquire that customer at all. We just asked them to send us some more folks. Now, if they're really happy with our service, they might go, okay, yeah. And then if we give them the permission to nominate folks, now saying it in that particular way, hey, who do you know, who can you nominate that might also want this opportunity? That's how we start getting more money. All right, so let's get a little fancier. One of the things that I suggested is that once you get to your event, now what we can do is things like this. We have these dot cards. You got the hello, hi hello cards. There's a whole bunch of them. There's Haystack, there's Cardo, there's Blur, all kinds of different ones. The point is that now that we have people engaged in our thing, we can then say, hey, listen, here's my contact information. I'm constantly giving out more money, more opportunities, more whatever it is you're doing. We can then have that information on our cards, and our cards can take people to a site. Now, I talk about landing pages versus big old websites. You go to a big old website, it's just too much information. They get confused and they just like, you know what? I don't want to do this. So we can do something as simple as creating our dot cards or our hi hello cards, or whatever you're using as a digital card, and then sending people over. Now, if you still, a little old school and you say, hey, well, I use regular cards, well, that's fine. But most people are kind of going to these digital cards. We can then say this digital card goes to a very specific spot for this particular day, and then you can offer things. That's some of the things that we can do. Let's get a little fancier though. All right. So now what we've done here, and this is what I want to remind you of, how we get more money, right? We're talking about getting more money into our business. All right. My English teacher would kill me to have me say mo, but I'm saying more money. So what we do here is we're using the emails to have other people that are going to come into our stuff right here. And we're going to really look at them as influencers, right? We call that influencer marketing. Now, there's a very specific way they do influencer marketing, but I'm saying you can make anybody an influencer. Anybody that has people and you would like to introduce your stuff to those folks, then you can say, hey, you're an influencer for me today. So what if you did this? What if you says, hey, send me 5 people. If you send me 5 people, then I will give you something that you can use in your business, right? So just 5 people, then you get something for free. Now imagine that. I like free stuff. I don't know about you. So if we can do something like that, guess what happens? We end up making more money. So we're now taking this and asking people to be influencers, even if they're not, have a whole bunch of people. They may have 20 people that they know, but they become an influencer for you, because if you can get them to send you 5 people and get something for free, guess what happens? Yes, you make money. You make more money. And that's the big deal. All right, now here's some even fancier stuff, right? We had talked about this a little bit, but what I tried to suggest, and a lot of times when an entrepreneur talks with, they go and talk to a marketing firm, or they talk with people that do all this stuff, they try to get them into all of this stuff. And I'm telling you, sometimes it's just not, the entrepreneur, you're just not ready for that. And the reason why is capacity. If you don't have the capacity to do all this stuff, then guess what? You're going to be doing all of that instead of the simple things like this, talking with current customers and engaging them to get you more money. So I'm saying maybe hold off on things like this until you've got some good infrastructure. But I still hear people tell me that their marketing person that they talk to told them to go out there and start running ads, start doing I like to call them blog letters, but newsletters and all that kind of stuff. Now there is a point and a spot for all of that, but not too early. Let's go make money. Let's get ourselves in position where we can hire people to do this stuff for us. Now, once we do that, now, hey, it's game on. But now, not before you have the capacity to do what? Deliver. Because if you get oversaturated and overrun with customers, guess what's going to happen? You're going to blow your business right up, and not in a good way. So, but still, just to keep it in mind, here are some of the things that, yes, you can do these things. You can literally say, all right, I got some who's, and I'm not going to be the one that do it. This is how I suggest you actually get after it. Now, there's a really good book out there called Who's Not How. Let me show you real quick. So Who's Not How. This is my library of books. But anyway, it's called Who Not How. It's by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. There are fantastic folks to talk to you about that thing. You are literally going out there and saying, who can help me instead of how do I do it? The moment you say, how do I do it? Guess what happens? Stress. I can't get it all together. I got to fulfill the business. Most entrepreneurs are out there fulfilling. All right. So now here's how you can also increase your make money opportunities, is that you could run ads. Now you see what I'm doing here. I'm showing you two sides of this thing. If you don't have the ability and it's too early, don't do this stuff. But if you say, okay, I'm a little more seasoned, I got some people in place, I got a couple people working with me, I got some virtual assistants, whatever it is. Now we can go out there and say, those are my who's that are going to get me to where I want to go. Those are my who's. The who's can run your ads. The who's can run your blogs. The who's can be affiliates for you or find you affiliates. Now let's talk a little bit about this affiliate thing. I hear it all the time. Affiliates are just people that are out there designed to help you sell more stuff. Now you got to give them a cut. And guess what? A lot of entrepreneurs, especially when we're first starting out, don't want to give anybody anything. Forget about that. Let's give them some money so they can help grow our business, especially when you have your who's in place. All right, now here's one of the last things I want to talk to you about, and it is when we get super fancy, right? You see how we say this is fancy strategies and these are even fancier strategies. So we start thinking, okay, well, when I have people come to my sites, I like to call them landing pages, right? You can call them squeeze pages, you can call them whatever it is. It's a page, a one-page website that people come to, and then we can put these things called cookies on them. And if we can put cookies on them, those cookies follow them around the internet, wherever they end up being, then all of a sudden you start seeing these ads and you start seeing these things show up. Well, that's the cookie policy, right? And then if we can cookie them and if they see our stuff everywhere, that is what we call remarketing. It's a little fancier. You got to set up some things. You got to have some stuff in place. I mean, you can probably Google it or use your Perplexities or your other GPTs to kind of show you how to do this. But the main thing is this is getting into the fancy range. What are we trying to do? And everybody says we are trying to make more money, but doing it from our current book of business. Okay, just remember that, because don't get too fancy too fast. You'll blow up your business and you'll be stressed out, right? So now that we have these opportunities here, we're going to be thinking about this. I like to call it dip a toe in. Just dip a toe in, everybody. Just kind of a toe in. I don't want to put my whole body in the water yet because it could be cold. So we say, all right, I'm going to dip a toe in. I'm going to be eventually, looking at this cookie, these, applying cookies to my websites and these remarketing strategies. But just remember, the bigger goal is to make money first, put those other who's in place so that you won't crack your business, and then even get to this point here. This is where I really want you to get to. I want you to get to the point where you're automating everything. And this is what we talked about in the coaching call, is automate everything. Now that's going to be a little bit deeper strategy. I'm going to be talking about that in some upcoming videos. And so I think I'm putting this in some of the courses too. So you can start thinking about the automation of everything. What does that look like? Does it mean like, hey, I'm going to have a robot doing all this stuff? Well, maybe, right? I'm going to be talking later on today about creating your own custom GPTs, right? I'm in the middle of doing it right now. Let me see if I can show y'all. So I'm in the middle of, this is one that's called RO's copy, right? So I'm going to be creating some custom GPTs. If you want to find out more about that, if you're already a part of the channel, go ahead and I'm going to be leaving links for you. But if you're brand new, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you can get this stuff. I'm serious. So I'm going to be showing you how I create my own, custom GPTs. Here's a couple of them. The RO's copy. I got radio idea prompt expander. And then I got an ad template that's going to be inspired by Frank Kern. These are some cool things that we can do to automate everything. This is the piece here. Can we use people to automate things? Of course you can, as long as you get it out of your hands so you do what you're so special at, what you have your superpower at. That could be talking to customers, that could be doing Facebook reels, that could be doing Facebook lives, whatever it is. Do that, make money so that you can get to this point where you can automate everything. You can go on vacations for months and 3 months at a time. That's the key part. I want you thinking about this very, very seriously. I'm going to be showing you more stuff as we go. keep a track. Now again, I'm showing you how to make bank in your bathrobe so you can get up in the morning. You know, you're all tired. It's really, really early. You put on your bathrobe. I mean, don't come out here nasty or nothing, but you know, have your stuff all together, and then you can get out there and start making some money. Hey, let's talk again in the next video. See you then. Hey, if you guys like this series, how to make bank in your bathrobe, drop me a note in the comment section, or you can DM me and I'll keep doing these videos. In the meantime, let's go out and make more money. See you then.